Good afternoon from Newburyport. I'm here on a day trip and I'm about to go home, but I need to take a stop in the middle so I can show you guys the least used station on the Newburyport line.
This stop is Newburyport.
And it is now time for our one-stop ride. And welcome to Raleigh, Essex, Massachusetts, USA. Here, there is not much, and you actually have to walk up the road to get to anything. There's only 4 attractions I could see within a 1-kilometer walking radius. One is right over there, and it is a thing that relates to, I believe, wildlife. I'll put it on screen, but I only have 20% of my phone, so let's throw away my overpriced Starbucks that I bought on a gift card, and let's go explore. So this is actually nowhere near the city center of Raleigh. I have an hour and a half here, so I'm going to explore until my 20% phone dies. As you can see, the area is very, very suburban. Unlike Newburyport, where there is a decent downtown and it is, well, a port, as implied in the name. Raleigh, Massachusetts here is insanely suburban. I actually know someone who lives here, and they say there's nothing to do here, so that being said, let's talk about the station before we leave here. This station is single-tracked. It was opened this year on screen, somewhere in the 90s. I don't have it on top of my head. It is mainly meant to be a park and ride station. As you can clearly see, it is nowhere near the downtown. Similar to Newburyport Station, although Newburyport Station does have a direct walking path to downtown and to a park, and also to the Merrimack River. Raleigh Station does not. Once again, is single-tracked. It is a fully accessible high-level platform, so no matter where the train is, you can always make your way to it. Here it is. Raleigh, commuter rail parking only, no overnight parking. And right across the grade crossing, I believe there's a wildlife sort of thing. I'm not going to check it out today, but I might in the future. This is actually it's my second time here, but my first time in about 2 years at this station. Although I have been into the city in between, despite there being nothing to do here. There's a place on Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you. We were both 16 and it felt so right. Sleeping all day, staying up all night. Now, as you can see, very, very quiet here, as you can hear. Don't know what this says. There's a US flag there and a Scottish flag there. Likely intended to be a British flag, but it looks Scottish to me. I wonder what that says. Pretty flowers. They smell good back there. And we have a sidewalk here. Random ass bench here. I wonder if this is for sitting or for taking. The not one, probably. And not only, probably. Barbecue restaurant named American Barbecue. In addition, a couple of other things exist near here. I know a motorcycle store exists, and one other thing exists. I'll put it on screen. This place is actually good. I've been here before. So let's let's go explore. There is originally a book, or not a book, about, what am I saying, shop up here. And we have about 40 minutes into our train. It says on the Trans app that's only an 11-minute walk, but I like to leave some time, so I'll probably make leave 15 minutes before, just in case, as I do have to make this train. As you can see, there's not much here. There's seemingly a Corvette supply center there. Unsure if that remains open or not. But we walk down this dirty road here. And wow, there really is nothing to do here. We are actually walking on State Route 1, which is a bit scary, but it's fine. And I can hear the train that's actually going inbound to Newburyport from here. Although I don't know if we're still within a 1 kilometer walk. I know that the entrance to a boat store is within 1 kilometer, by the way that the crow flies, of the station, as I have measured it out. However, I'm unsure if it's a 1 kilometer walk. Also, shout out to American Barbecue for letting me use their cord, or their wall charger, to actually charge my phone. Seems like there's also a Moffy area. Not area, but I think it looks like construction right there. I'm not from here, so wouldn't know, but I think I've heard of them on the radio before. Very Italian name. And here we come across a boat and whatever died axes. Now, this is about a 15-minute walk from the station. Although I will say it's not the most walker-friendly area I've seen in my life. I've seen worse, though. I've been to worse. Maybe I'll even upload a video that I took far before this channel was made. Walkable, this is. So you're supposed to actually walk there, but I'm trespassing to walk here because I don't want to be right next to 2-ton vehicles like that. Kind of scary, but very walkable. Of that, but this looks like just a corporate office. I don't have time, so I won't go up. But yeah, I'll maybe add some commentary right now about what it actually is in post. Here with whatever this is, looks like an abandoned workshop. Looks like there's some machines in there. And snapper mowers, tillers, and tractors. And yes, this is the other store I saw. So overall, there are 4 places that are technically transit accessible from Raleigh. Now, I'm gonna go back because I don't want to miss my train. And as soon as we turn around, we can actually see a sign guiding drivers towards the MBTA commuter rail. An interesting thing about the MBTA commuter rail that I've seen, at least, is that it is relatively driver-oriented, actually. We're still making our way along here. Once again, a not very pedestrian-friendly road, although you can actually walk on here all the way to downtown, I do believe. Here we go, MBTA commuter rail. And now it's just walk down here and get to there. And as we walk, I suppose I will talk about my thoughts of this station. Overall, I don't like how transit inaccessible it is. Although I do like the good views that you get coming on into the station. And I know that on the way out, I will actually see some very, very beautiful marsh views, as I can see on my way into here. That being said, there are still some things you can walk from the station too. Although I don't think many people have walked from the train to the barbecue place or from the train to the business place. So while they are technically transit accessible, I wouldn't say many people have probably thought of it. Now, this could be a symptom of car culture in the US. However, I also think it's just a simple symptom of there not being much walkways. There's nothing at the station to tell you that there's anything within a 15-minute walk of there. So someone coming to there who didn't do a research before would have no way of knowing that you can actually do at least one thing within a short walk of the station. And there's also no bus service from this station. There's absolutely no connections at this station, in fact. So If you're going here, you're probably going so you can drive. Also, at the same time, because there aren't many houses too close to the station, you likely are going to be driving to the station in the first place. And many houses that aren't on this road likely won't know just how close the station is, and that they could in fact walk to it. Also, the station is single platformed, just like the next 3 stations on the line. That being said, there is a siding at Ipswich right before the station if you're going outbound, or right after if you're going inbound. But it is still a single platform. Now, this can be good because it, makes way less confusion, but it also can breed confusion. See, I was actually in Salem, and I had gone on a train to go home. Now, some other people got on the train, but they actually figured out it was a wrong train. So they needed to go all the way in to where the train was going before they could go back around. And this is bad because it, breeds confusion sometimes. Then again, I should remember that most people traveling at Salem are usually people who only use the train to go to Salem or go to Bruins games in October. Speaking of October, in a couple months, I will actually be making a video about how to get Salem. And by a couple months, I mean September. So not really a couple months, more than a few months, in fact, from now. I also dislike that there's a grade crossing right after it. Although it's not that bad, it still is a grade crossing, and grade crossings are something I generally don't like. There's also coastal coverings. Is this for like boat coverings? I'm sure. That's cool. I don't know if they're even in a commercially zoned area, but good on them. Now, let's talk about ridership. So as for the ridership of Raleigh Station, it received in 2018 fiscal year, that is, on average, 113 boardings per weekday. The station was opened on the 26th, I believe, of October, 1998. The station exists within Fare Zone 7. This means they will cost this much to go from Boston to this station, or from this station to Boston. Discounts can be applied if you are a senior citizen, if you are a Massachusetts or Rhode Island high school student, or if you have certain disabilities on this list. A monthly pass to go here would also cost this much, although I don't see why you'd want to buy a monthly pass for here unless you are living here. Now, this looks like a cool boat. The station does have parking and is fully disability accessible. This is funny, it says no train horn, yet they usually play the train horn. That being said, we are now arriving into, as the train calls it, Raleigh. Now, the station facility is actually surprisingly nice for a station with this little people in it, and that is really good, I think. This is likely because it opened in 98, however, it is still very nice. Here, we can actually get on this sidewalk, where we can walk up to the station. Now, of course, ridership isn't going to be as good as other stations on the line which have central business districts right near them, such as Ipswich, or stations in tourist cities such as Salem and Newburyport. However, I think that it still is alright. Overall, I'd have to give the station a 4 out of 10, simply due to its park and ride nature. There's really not much to do near the station, save for that one restaurant, which I will say is a really good restaurant. However, most people who come here won't even know of that restaurant. So if you came here blindly, then you likely wouldn't even know the restaurant is there. Here we can see Raleigh, that leads to Railroad Avenue. I guess if you want to walk or bike here. The rest of the facilities of the station include a trash bin right there. Parking right here, as we said a few times. Here's what you use to pay by phone, and as it says up there, parking. Another yeah, there's really not much. Here it shows this way goes to Newburyport, this way goes to Boston, and you can see down the line over there. Beautiful photo, actually. Once again, another trash bin. I like these barriers that mostly look like there's a bit of a hole there, but mostly look like they prevent cars from getting in here, which is really good. Although, I would hope you wouldn't even think to do that in the first place. Here we can see the obligatory board train at designated area sign that is at pretty much every non-terminal station outside of Boston. And even in Back Bay, in the Worcester platforms 5 and 7. Seems that down here is the designated area to board out of outside of weekly inbound morning rush hour. There's a sticker here, probably for a band. Salt Shed. Many of these are at MBTA stations. I don't know what they are. So please tell me in the comments down below if you do know what they are. I'm guessing they probably have to do with like accessibility, maybe wheelchair things or something. And by things, I mean like platform bridges for those who use wheelchairs. Here we have a diversion schedule for the 9th and 10th and 30th and 31st of March. I don't even know what year. I love to take outdated information away. And here we can see the fall and winter schedule, which they will have to replace soon. And they still have this information about onboard buying of tickets. Here we obviously have the MBTA map. The announcement of the opening of Linen Trim, which I could probably also take, but I don't feel like taking, honestly. And we have display boards to present information on the line. Here we actually have some history about the Raleigh River, the bounty and openers of the march, and the chosen summer place of the Algonquian families, and the attracted settlers from Yorkshire, home of glorious Huddersfield Town AFC. Founded the town in 1639. The highest tides are just after the new or full moon, and the lowest just after the first and last quarters. When the tide is flowing from the ocean, it is called a flood, and when it's going out, it's called the ebb. Hence the term ebb and flow, I suppose. We also have more history there. I'll do a voiceover of it in post since there was someone actually sitting there and I didn't want to bother them. Rail service through Raleigh was chartered in 1836 and had opened for passengers in 1840. This new station, built in 1930, had combined facilities for both freight and passengers and had its plans published in the Model Railroader magazine. The Raleigh townsfolk engaged in a wide variety of work to create the necessary products and services to sustain small-town life. They worked at home, in backyard shops, and later in established small factories. Some of the early occupations continue today, such as blacksmithing, boat building, construction and carpentry, clamming, coppering, which is barrel making, farming, fishing, masonry, milling, saddlery, shoemaking, tanning, and dyeing, textiles, tinsmithing, tool making, and wheel writing. And then there are some people over here on bikes. Bit of grass, bit of forest back there, which would look nice to go in. Here we can see the sign indicating that this is in fact the boarding area. And a graffitied, I guess, notification sign. Once again, we have another schedule, but this is for 2020. Yeah, no, this is recent. This is for 2024, as of 18th of December. And finally, we have some bike racks and a bit more parking back there. And that's really all for Raleigh Station. I love these old signs, by the way. They should put these at all stations. I don't care if they're outdated. I love them. But that being said, that is all for Raleigh Station. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's video on Raleigh Station. What's your channel? Anyways, a ton of kids just asked me what my channel is. That being said, I'll see you next week, where I start my series of videos from Atlanta with, of course, the Atlanta plane train. So I'll see you there.